Hurricane, a tidal wave, essence perfect, life looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, yeah, you're burying me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa, I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again.
Hello, world, and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to another edition of Point of View. I am Bobby Munson, and sitting beside me, I'm going to do this right now because it's his birthday. Birthday. It's a happy birthday to my co-host with the most. It's Mark Robson. Mark Talks. How you doing, Mark? Happy birthday, bro.
Cheers. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, it's been an interesting week for myself personally. We potentially could be moving into a new house, me, the wife, and the kids.
Awesome.
We got news of that. Birthday today, got some Reading stuff. I got a Jey Uso top as well. Got a yeet, so I will be yeeting all over myself. Thank you ever so much, Bobby, man. I'll be yeeting all over myself more than normal. I've got another wrestling top coming. My wife has told me, but it hasn't been delivered yet, and she won't tell me what it is. It's down to two. I gave her three options that I would like. It's between Jacob Fatu and
Yep.
the new Roman Reigns top. It's between one of them two. So it's the bloodline, no matter what. All three tops, all bloodline related. You can tell which one's my love lies. But no, and then the football season has started. We've got currently Bobby had his game yesterday afternoon or morning
Yep.
for him. I had my game in the evening / morning afternoon for Bobby. So it's been a good 24 hours, I have to say.
Yeah, and before we even
Not for
get to
you.
well, I mean, we'll get to the topic, our main topic of predicting the Premier League here, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'll say this for anyone who's not familiar. Yesterday was the precursor to the Premier League season, as we call it, known as the Community Shield, where the team that finished first place in the Premier League takes on the winner of the FA Cup. So we had a Manchester derby, Manchester United taking on Manchester City. Going into this, I know how good Manchester City is. Were they at their 100% full squad that they would normally start all the time? No, they were not. But for that argument, neither was Manchester United either. It was always going to be an interesting game, to say the least. And I was just praying we didn't get walked all over. I was hoping we didn't see some 3-0 finish for Manchester City or something like that. That was my prayer. My prayer was answered. United did not play terribly. There was some really bad mistakes that they made that I think were costly in them not becoming victorious and taking the Community Shield yesterday. I think they easily could have capitalized and put this to rest without even going to penalties. And then whoever's smart-ass idea was to allow Johnny Evans to start walking up to that thing. Jesus Christ. Right then and there in penalty kicks, and this is back and forth. And as soon as Evans walked up, I just laid back on the couch and I put my arms up. I said to my wife, "It's over. We're done. Johnny Evans wasn't good at penalty kicks when Johnny Evans was a young man. Old Johnny Evans is even worse at taking penalty spots. I would have rather Onana taken the penalty kick.
Yeah.
Why did Onana not take that particular penalty kick when we needed it? We needed it badly. I think it was a massive mistake. I really do. It boiled my blood a bit, but then at the same time, I'm like, we took City to penalties. To penalties. There are some massive positives. Our youth is again looking great. Garnacho is a bloody beast out there. Amad Diallo has now really woken himself up to the point where it's like, Anthony who? Please don't field him. Please don't put Anthony out there. We'll take Amad Diallo every single day of the week. Let's just cut our losses with how much we spent on Anthony. Move on from it. Stick Amad Diallo out there. Stick Jadon Sancho out there. Somebody pull Rashford out of his own head, please, because God damn it, the guy is brilliant when he isn't inside his own head. He's still inside his own head yesterday, and it was notable. I hope he breaks free from it, because if Rashford breaks free from that, and all those positives of the young players coming in, the signings we've just made and everything like that, there is hope the Manchester United could look decent this season, at least stronger than they did last season. I got to say that much.
Yeah, I'm not going to say my prediction yet.
Right.
So my prediction has like a hashtag next to it, where if the signings come in, they could move higher up. If they don't, they're staying where I've put them under the current management. But no, the one question that I have over Man United's performance is you had Joshua Zirkzee on the bench, and then you went to a strikerless system.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yeah.
That baffled me. I did like the way Man United were playing. I didn't think it was going to be good enough to win the match. The way that they do this thing where when they're under the cosh, they just decide to long ball the shit out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like watching Reading under Paul Ince, and you don't want to watch that. God, Jesus, him with Andy Carroll was like Paul Ince with Andy Carroll was like this man's wet dream. It was long ball central, and you just hoped Andy Carroll would win it, and 90% of the time he did. But no fucker was around to help him.
Yeah.
But with Man United, you haven't got a tall striker, and you're going up against Ruben Diaz, Guardiola, and was Johnny Stones playing? I think he was, wasn't he? If I
think so,
remember,
yeah.
John
Pretty
Stones.
sure.
And three of them big boys.
Mhm.
That made no sense. You can't outpass Man United, but Manchester City, but you have to do something
No.
different. And I thought the tactics weren't right. And I think that if Ten Hag goes away with this, he needs to learn that if you have strikers, use them. You don't
Yep.
pay 50 million for a striker to not play him at all, unless he's injured. And there's no comment whatsoever from anywhere that says that he was injured. So
He was on the bench. He had to be available. Like,
there's one of those things where there are times where you put players on the bench knowing full well they're not going to play, but
Yeah.
you put them on the bench to shit scare the opposition. But Joshua Zirkzee hasn't been playing long enough in the Premier League, or at all, or ever in the Premier League to make Manchester City think, this could be an issue. And that was my takeaway from it. But Man City doing what they do, don't matter how they play, how they do, they win.
yeah. And the thing is with Xerxes and the excuse I keep hearing with the choices of a lot of the substitutions that were made or why certain players didn't start is precaution for the Premier League. They're so worried about finishing higher in the Premier League that they were willing to play different positions and people out of place during a cup game like the Community Shield in order to try to assure they have the right people. You know what? Signings are on the way. Whatever's happening behind the scenes, they're actually getting a lot of the players they're wanting to get in the first place, which has been a first in a long time for the team. They're not scrounging to try to get whatever's left at the very end of the Premier League season or the transfer season or whatever kind of thing. So that's a plus. Are we still overpaying? Hell yeah, we're overpaying. We are always overpaying. We're Manchester United. Before we go back, more football talk here. Bobby wants to know our thoughts on Cody Rhodes wrestling against Kevin Owens at WWE Bash in Berlin. I'll give my immediate thoughts. Good. Give Cody Rhodes a whole bunch of opponents to legitimize his title run. That's what you used to do with the champions. Everybody who was a upper mid to main event type talent at some point in time wrestled the champion. Give a good quality matchup. Maybe we could finally have a matchup of Cody Rhodes that doesn't end with a whole bunch of overbooking. Maybe we could just have a straight up good wrestling match. Oh, come on. You can't overbook this shit. No.
Much fun. It's so much fun. I can't get over the overbooking is just blood, because I know exactly what's going to happen, right? You're going to get the wrestling purists like yourself that are going to go batshit crazy about it and hate every single inch of it. And then you're going to get people like me that are just going to love that the batshit people are going batshit crazy about it. So for me, I absolutely love it. No, but you won't get the overbooking for Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. But the one thing you will get is a straight out wrestling match. But the one thing I want to know is you've got Randy Orton versus Darren Ganadal at Bash at Berlin, and you're going to have Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. The question I have is which one of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens at the end of this is going to turn heel? Because when they both come back to it, then how is it going to go? Randy Orton, I think this was a very clever pick here by Triple H. This was a very, very clever. And I think when everyone was going about Gunther getting his world championship at SummerSlam, saying, well, Randy Orton got it because his shoulders weren't fully down. Triple H has gone, I know, I'll remember. And then he's done it. And I think that's a very clever. And it's also going to legitimize Gunther as a world champion very quick.
You know what's going to happen is this Cody and Kevin's going to go on early in the night. It's not going to have any shenanigans. Cody's going to get a clean win. It's going to be a solid matchup, at least solid enough to get people excited. The main event is going to be Gunther versus Randy Orton, and it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a show-stealing world title main event banger that the two are going to beat the living piss out of one another to the point where Gunther is going to legitimize himself as a unstoppable champion. Randy is going to be beat to holy hell, but he's going to give a fight to Gunther like never before. And at the end of it, I believe that Cody's going to come out to kind of like, come up and give his buddy a, hey, you gave it your all, good job, mate, kind of thing, put his arm around Orton. And that's right when Orton is going to snap. Orton is going to snap, and he's going to turn on Cody right then and there, leading to a matchup between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that completely.
Yeah.
And we can all agree that Gunther, with his pictures he's already taken with the world title, and the pictures he's taken with Jinny, that is one good-looking champion. I can tell you.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be a great. I'm so glad he's champion. He's going to be great with that title. It's going to be a great run.
Also, can we just say that the way that they're also booking the new Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, I've been really impressed so far how they're doing it all. And also October 10th, the founders-ish of OTT, the Irish wrestling company, are having their 10th anniversary. And Finn Balor and JD McDonough, two former world champions in that indie show in Ireland, are coming back to that. So I'm interested to look forward to seeing that. There was people I've seen that were at the show going, I've lost my voice already seeing the announcement. I haven't screamed as much knowing that the kings of Irish wrestling are coming back. That's pretty cool. But Dominic Mysterio, I have to say, is the biggest troll on Twitter or X. He is so perfectly made for X that he just finds little things that you go, I would never have thought of that. It's just brilliant timing. He does so well on that platform to do what he does on it. Oh man. They introduced the Wyatt Six as well, having their debut match against American Made, as they're now called, with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. And I have to say, I've been excited for the Wyatt Six ever since they debuted. And that match with Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Eric Rowan, just so beautifully done. And the crowd loving it. Uncle Howdy playing it. Oh my! When you just sit there and you just enjoy it, and you just like, I don't care what anyone else says. I am just loving it. That's exactly how I felt during that. And the one thing I will say is they are making Bray proud with the work that they're doing so far. The way that they're doing it, the slow builds that they've been doing as well, has been excellent. And I just love them.
See, and I will say, upon the debut, it looked cool. But I was reluctant about where it would go, because my biggest issue with Bray's presentation, and this is not to try to, I'm not trying to tarnish Bray's legacy and stuff. I really liked Bray. I thought he was a great talker. He was a very interesting mind. I couldn't stand when they made him the Fiend and they made him indestructible inside the ring, because I think there's a way to toe the line when it comes to a character like that, where it doesn't have to be to the point where they're taking sledgehammers to the face and bouncing back up. I get that people are like, oh, horror movie. I understand. But even when Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and any of them take a goddamn blow to the head, they stay down for a little while to build that tension. They're not popping up immediately. The Undertaker is a brilliant example of this. Undertaker towed that line with the mysterious type stuff or whatever, where he wasn't popping up immediately from everything. There was a human side to him inside that ring that was beatable and everything like that. And that was why I want to say credit to the WWE and the Wyatt Six, because that debut, they looked like credible professional wrestling going on inside that ring. The match was solid. I liked it. I really did like it. And I thought, kudos to you guys for giving them they're masked and everything like that to, create this fear or this aura and stuff like that. But they're also there to be wrestlers, and their biggest strength is their strength in numbers and working together. So yeah, awesome.
And one of the cool things, thank you very much, Astrid. One of the cool things I saw, that there was a clip afterwards that when all the lights when the show ended and the cameras were turned off, a fan was taking a video and they were all in the ring giving a group hug together. I know that sort of kills some of the thing to it, but you knew that there was a weight of the world on them because everyone has been anticipating this. Everyone's been looking at them going, what are you going to do with this? How are you going to perform in the ring? And you know that there's a long build to this where you've got to watch the pig. That's what Tom Colohue says. And he says that the word backstage is watch the pig. Because if you watch the pig, you know exactly what's going to happen next. And it's the same with the markings. If you look, that Dakota Kai, for a few weeks, had a little marking behind the back of her head. She was the next. And I think that's the introduction. Apparently she's injured, but she probably will work a little bit injured just to get the story going. That's the introduction there of Alexa Bliss. I think that's how you're going to introduce her. But just all of it. I love it all. I love every inch of it.
And I should say, and also having the Fiend losing the way he did hurt him as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's kind of that back and forth. It's like you need to create strong, but you also can't make them indestructible. So you have to toe that line when it comes to characters like that. I'm glad that in this sense, nobody in the Wyatt Six is being made to look indestructible in any ways. They're made to look like the wrestlers that they are. It just so happens that they also have a big love for paying homage to who came before them and who the whole aura of what they're paying homage to in the first place. So the masks are more of I would say like a cult homage to Bray Wyatt and everything like that. You know, you could almost call it the cult of Bray more than anything. So yeah, and I mean, as Ashford would know,
that defines Vince's booking.
Yeah,
that if you could sum up Vince's booking, it's that you make them indestructible and then you make them weak.
Yeah, but I can't stand that way of doing it all the time either, because I don't think not everybody can survive that, and it's not the best way of going about it. But I was gonna say that speaking of paying homages and wearing masks and having cults and stuff like that, as I've said many times before, as a fan of the horror films and a fan of the Scream series, that one of these days we're going to get the cult of Ghostface in one of these Scream franchise movies. And I believe from what the rumors are saying, somebody's been listening, because it sounds like the 7th movie might just have some of that played into it and everything too. So we'll see how that pans out here. But yeah, let's go on over, Mark. Our main subject of the day, we wanted last week, you put the challenge down on the table to predict the English Premier League, see where every team would finish in this thing, so that later on in the season, when it comes to an end, we can all move back to this and go, who was the closest? Who had the almost there? And Papa Smokes was telling me on Thursday after we got off the air on Ring Respect Radio that he thinks we need to up the ante on this one a little bit, more than just predicting the Premier League table. He thinks that there needs to be a consequence for whoever doesn't win between the two of us, where the other one has to, whatever it is, whether it's eat a super hot pepper or take some ridiculous shot of whatever on the show or something along those lines, sing the other's team, sing along or something like that. One of those types of things. We have to come up with a consequence. Maybe we'll even make a few options and put them out for people to take a poll on. And we'll see. On a poll. Look at it. Say his name and he appears. It's Papa Smokes on a Sunday. How you doing, Papa Smokes? We were just talking about you today and about how you were talking about we need to up the ante when it comes to our Premier League predictions here today. So whoever loses will have something. Yeah, we'll put out a poll. We'll come up with some sort of poll.
Yeah.
We'll let the viewers decide what the consequence will be for the person who doesn't predict the Premier League the best. And we'll go from there. We'll figure it all out. And then that'll play out later on in the year on right here on the program. So Bobby's saying hello to Pop Smokes as well too. So that'll be a lot of fun. But I don't know, Mark, what about you? What do you think? Should we start making our predictions?
I think so. I'm ready to get this utterly fucking wrong.
All right, fair enough. And anybody who's in the chat, if you want to check it out, English Premier League, you can look up who's in there. Even if you don't know anything about any names on there, just pick for fun. Just say a name. We're not going to laugh at you because, again, if you don't know, you don't know. And it's damn near impossible. It'd be like me looking at the NFL and going, yeah, I've heard of these teams. I still don't know who's got the better players and who's going to
Miami
win.
Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm putting the prediction out now. I need it to happen in my lifetime. I supported them. Actually, there's two teams I want to win. Okay, I want Miami Dolphins because I support them and I watch them every week, if I can. And the second one is the Kansas City Chiefs, only because they have a British guy on their team, Lewis Rees-Zammit, who's a former rugby player who's on that. And also, I'm a Swiftie, and I like Travis Kelce. So, yeah.
Well, see, you missed out on all the fun we had recently on Ring Respect Radio. We were talking all about Papa
I've
Smokes
seen the
and
clips.
his. Oh, you've seen the clips. You've seen the clips. All right. Well.
When you did it a little while ago, that was when I was editing your shorts, and I was putting the Taylor Swift stuff on it. Yeah, I remember. I was finding those Taylor Swift gifts. I tell you.
Yeah. Did you ever see the one where Papa Smokes originally responds to the allegations and drops all the song? Yeah, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That was amazing. That was absolutely brilliant. And you know what the best thing is as well? It makes it funnier because of the way he talks. Because you would go, he wouldn't know any of this because of the way he talks. But then in my mind, I'm going, he's Googled these before the show to write them all down and then work out where he can put them all. And I went, that was more impressive than anything. That's what made it. Oh, Plymouth got a shot on target.
And let's not deny it. Papa Smokes is a big music fan. He's actually got quite the extensive record collection and knowledge of pop culture and music. And I think that's where he throws a few people off there too, kind of thing, because you don't expect it. Even I didn't expect it. I've known the guy as long as I have. And I sat there, and as he goes, I want to respond to the allegations. He had not told me anything. So
makes it even better.
So as it's about to go down, I'm listening and I'm like, you clever man.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I saw your face because that was one of the ones I edited at the time. That was one of the ones when I was editing. And I was more watching your face because I knew for a fan you had no clue. Had no clue whatsoever what was going to happen. No. And it was brilliant. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And as soon as it happened too, it's like I know I don't go ahead and listen to Taylor myself. Like I've heard the songs. I've heard the songs. Who hasn't? I mean, you walk out of a house and there's music playing somewhere. You've heard a Taylor Swift song in your life.
Yeah.
But no, obviously people know my style of music, and while I listen to quite a variety, Taylor usually isn't in my listening tree or anything like that. But I mean, let's not deny ourselves when it comes to music. Probably the biggest artist on the planet right now too.
The funniest thing was when she dropped her new album. You guys won't be able to see it, but there was so many discussions between me, you, Astrid, Ed, and I can't remember who the others were, talking about the singles of her new album. I think it was us three. I've got to find, and we were going like a deep dive into her album. And we were going, do we like it? I'm going to find who was talking about it. I'm scrolling back up now just to find it. And it was absolutely incredible. That was the funnest time. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it was me, you. Andre come in a couple of times.
Yeah.
Me, you, Astrid, Ed, and Andre were talking and having a deep dive into Taylor Swift's new album.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Why not? Right. Hey, I mean, exactly. we talk pop culture here on the channel. We might as well talk a little bit about behind the scenes as well too. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Now down to the main event of our show here today. The big topic. It's predicting the Premier League. So again, anybody following along, look up the Premier League list and let us know who your thoughts are. We're going to go from the bottom up, I believe, is the ruling here. We're starting with number 20.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go? Who's going first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, fine.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You go first.
I go first? Okay.
You go first.
All right, sounds good. Number 20 spot, I'm putting Forest.
Oh, Yeah, same.
Okay. Is this like I mean, I'm sorry, Forrest, but I'm pretty sure just about anybody on the planet is putting them in 20.
It was between two. Um,
And I'm guessing the other one's your 19, right?
yeah,
So
go on.
I got to know, is it Ipswich?
Nope.
Oh no, it's not. Okay, I went
No,
Ipswich
no,
on
no,
19.
no, 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 no.
No, all right, all right.
I've gone Southampton. I don't
Oh,
think
really?
they have not impressed me when they were in the Championship. They're going to get found out a lot in the Premier League under the who the fuck is their manager? 'Cause I can't stand him.
See,
I've nearly had a massive argument square up face to face with him
see,
before.
and they're higher
Russell
up my
Martin.
list. They're higher up my list, and we'll get there. But I also look at it like the biggest thing with Southampton is they always seem to come in and nab enough points to get a reasonable spot in the table the first season, and then they get
Yeah,
found out after that, and they struggle to stay afloat, if not go right back down afterwards.
they're
The
going to
first one
struggle.
up, they
Just
always get these miraculous little bullshit wins and stuff like that they edge out. That's enough to keep them afloat in the first season usually. So that's why they're higher up my list.
yeah, I think Russell Martin Ball, who I can't stand, and I think he's the lowest of lower managers. He is not someone who I think is Premier League adapted, hasn't got the players to adapt to the system that he will want to play in the Premier League. And I just don't see them doing well. I don't see them for a club of Southampton's history. I don't see them doing well whatsoever.
That's fair. No, it's a fair assessment. My number 18, I've got Brentford.
See, I was stuck on this one because I was gonna go with Brentford, but then I changed my mind last minute, and I've gone with Wolves.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because they've just lost Pedro Neto to Chelsea for 60 million plus add-ons. To Chelsea, and he was their main, along with Matheus Cunha. They've also lost Kilman as well to Wolves, their captain and their centre back. And their midfield wasn't great last season either. They were very exposed very quickly, passing through the lines or going out wide. They were very expansive under Gary O'Neill, who's just signed a new contract to stay a little bit longer as Wolves manager. But if they do not get their recruitment right in the next few weeks, they will be in the bottom three. Matheus Cunha cannot save himself, and Kim as well, who plays for Wolves, the two strikers. They can't do what they did 2 seasons in a row. They're going to be found out, and I worry. I worry for Wolves more if they don't get a proper striker and a proper centre-back and maybe a good defensive midfielder, holding midfielder and a playmaking midfielder. They will also, I think they will need 5 signings before the end of the transfer window. If they don't get that, then I think they'll be lower than 18th. I don't think with the marvels that Gary O'Neill can do, I struggle with them.
Okay. Well, again, one that's definitely a little higher up my list, but we'll get there very soon. Talk about it. Number 17, I had Leicester City down. I think they're going to get out of the relegation spot and survive, but just barely.
I've gone for Brentford.
Okay.
I think with Brentford, if they get this Fabio Carvalho deal over the line, they will be fine. But there's also now talk today that Ivan Toney might accept bids to Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
And there's clubs Al Hilal and Al Nasir. Is Al Nasir or Al Etihad also looking to bolster their attack with Ivan Toney? If Ivan Toney leaves, they will be in the same amount of trouble with Wolves if they don't get a good enough replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money that they can get, but considering the amount that you pay for a quality attacker nowadays and stuff too, that's the thing. These teams can make a hell of a lot of money on someone that they bought for next to nothing when they got them and everything, but try to find a quality replacement that you're not going to pay an absurd amount of cash for. That's always the struggle. That
you're going to have to go abroad, and you're going to have to find a gem.
Yeah.
Do what Chelsea are doing
Mm-hmm.
without the ridiculousness. But you need to go to somewhere like South America, and you need to go somewhere like Mexico, and go to countries that have the gems, Plymouth that have the gems in there that you can just pick a couple up. You only need a couple a season. I'm talking Football Manager types here, where when you are a football manager and you play Football Manager, you cast your net into South America, and you pick gems that are cheap, and you sell them for mass amount of profit. And that's what Brentford have been good at. They've been going to the Scandinavian countries, but they're going to run out. So they need to change up strategy here. But if they lose Ivan Toney, I'm very worried for them.
Fair enough. All right, 16 is where I actually place Southampton on my list. So I think that, again, like, they seem to be one of those teams that when they come up, edge out just enough wins to solidify, because like when we get to those bottom teams, it's very minimal points that a lot of them pick up and stuff like that, and it always seems like Southampton edge out enough draws or, you know, one or two unexpected wins that keeps them afloat. So for me, Southampton is my 16th spot.
I've gone for Everton.
Okay.
But I also don't think they'll be there, because I can't justify putting Everton higher up.
I struggled there too, because I did put them higher up because the quality is there, but it always seems that no matter how much quality is there, they can't seem to get their shit together, which is always the biggest trouble with Everton.
Yeah, I'm currently looking at a team that I've placed quite high up and don't know whether I should have. Whether that's Everton, I feel like will either be 16th or 10th. They will be in and around there, but I couldn't justify putting them further up. And I think that they're trying to get a winger in from Napoli. If they get that winger in, they keep Calvert-Lewin and Beto healthy. You've got Josh O'Brien that's just come in from Marseille as well, the Irish international right back or centre back. I can't remember which way. We might play both from there. Then I will go, okay, cool, you'll be all right. But if they don't really add to it, I just see them being around there. That's where I'm going.
That's fair. That's fair. So that was 16, right? We're on 15 now?
Yes.
15. All right. So 15, I've got Brighton and Hove Albion. I think they're going to be just enough to get into that spot. You're laughing at me now.
Right. Okay. No, because I've got them well high up.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I've got them higher up. I can understand where you're going with this. I can understand it, because I was also in mind to lower them down. But then in my mind, I'm going, they've got a guy who's now the same age as me, who's managing them, which, by the way, angers me, because I wanted to do what he's doing, and he's got it, prick. Also, I feel like they've made a couple of good signings that have helped them. I've also just seen the signings that I looked for someone else, another team of, and I'm fine with where I placed them at the moment. Yeah, okay. I'll explain mine there. But at 15th, I've gone for Bournemouth.
Okay.
They've just lost Dominic Solanke to Tottenham. Their main striker, the guy that's got them all the goals. I still fear for them in the middle of the park. And the defense is okay. The goalkeeper's settled. You've got Neto in goal.
I always find they're just enough of a defensive team to usually gain points on annoying a lot of teams more than anything. They annoy them to death, and that's why I've actually got Bournemouth quite a bit up there. You'll see soon. But
the reason why for me I've put them there is the Dominic Solanke effect, and I think that if Solanke's going to Tottenham to start, He's not going to go to Tottenham to be on a bench for 60-something million pounds. My phone is going. I do apologise if you can hear that. It's doing me nothing. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, Dominic Solanke. Tottenham striker is going to be the main man there. If they don't find a credible replacement for him, I worry for him.
That's fair. That's fair. And yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like looking at this table, especially once we get into the top 10, it starts to get tough. And it really does, because there is a lot of solid teams going on. Teams that never used to be in contention to be really towards the top of the table that are starting to become big players. So it became very difficult. But moving on to 14, Fulham. I think Fulham, there's some decent signings there. I think they're going to do just well enough this season that they'll be in the 14th place. And I think that if they continue to restructure the direction they're going, I think I can see some better things for them down the line.
Who have you gone for?
Fulham 14th.
Yeah. I've gone for Leicester.
Okay.
Steve Cook. That's it.
That's the answer. That's the punchline.
Reason why they're going to be 14th. The man's going to get wins. The man's going to become a cult hero at Leicester, and he's going to push them on moving forward. I think they would have been higher up if the proposition was accepted by Graham Potter. I would have put them a lot higher up. But because Graham Potter's still being paid £200 and something thousand a week by Chelsea, up until I think it's October or December, I can't remember which one it is, then what's the point of taking a job until that money starts to run out? Do you know what I mean? The man can go on holiday every week if he wanted to. But Steve Cook, to me, excellent manager, great manager. Reason why I think Nottingham Forest should never have sacked him is he would have done better with that team if he got the right players instead of their owner doing whatever he was doing. So 14th for me will be Leicester.
Okay. And see, now after you said all that you did about my 13th place team, I'm starting to have my doubts that I placed them in the right spot, because this is where I've got Wolves. And after you saying what you did, I'm like, oh, now I'm nervous about this. Maybe I should have placed them further down my list, but I'm going to stick to what I've got written on the sheet here. I got Wolves at 13. Although you got me fearing a little bit that one's going to dock me some points.
Yeah, I've gone with Fulham. Tony Khan had to pull his finger out of his arse for the squad this year. He had to do it. There was not enough signings last year, and they scraped the barrel of everything. But this season, their transfers have been fucking wild. But they're going after anyone and everything that's got a pulse at the moment that's played in the Premier League. At this
Premier League experience is no joke, though.
They're trying to sign Diego Carlos from Aston Villa, the centre-back that just signed from Seville. They've also apparently just put a bid in for Crystal Palace's Jakob Anderson, the centre-back as well, for him. And then Fabrizio Romano tweeted recently that Fulham and Aston Villa are close to reaching an agreement for Diego Carlos. I know that they needed to go a little bit more batshit crazy in the transfer market, but they're going absolute batshit crazy. It's like Tony Khan's gone. It's like what he does with the recently released WWE talent. I'll have you, I'll have you, I'll have a bit of you, I'll have you, I'll have a bit of you.
Don't know how we're going to use you, but we'll take you.
I don't know how Marco Silva's going to do it. I'm literally going to go look. So they've just right. So here's their transfers. Okay, they've only made a few signings. I lied. They've only made a few. They got Ryan Sessegnon back at the club.
Okay.
On a free transfer. They got Jorge Cañana from Villarreal for $6 million. And they've also just signed Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal for 31.8 million euros. They're also going after Diego Carlos, and I think they're going after Jakob Anderson to sort out the defence, but they're not targeting the place they need to attack is the striker market. That's the theme of today's episode, kids. If you don't have a good striker, you're not gonna do well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. They've got Smith-Rowe, great player, love the man.
Isn't it funny to be talking about Tony Khan on an OLE-based program and it not to be doing with wrestling for a change?
And And I haven't really been horrible about him either, so that's even more shocking.
It's the only time Mark is positive about Tony Khan is talking about his batshit crazy buying in the transfer market for football.
Fucking mental. Just mental.
But hey, sometimes a little bit of crazy works when it comes to English football. As we got Bobby laughing, so we know it's a good program. Once Bobby's rolling on the floor laughing like that, show has been the best. Let's move on from 13th place
I've
to
just
12th.
seen my pick. I've just seen my pick, and I've realised what I've done. Carry on.
Fair enough. 12th place, I've got Crystal Palace in that spot. I think the Palace is quality enough that they're getting up there. I don't think they're quite top 10 this season, but I think they're going to be enough to get to that spot. So 12th place, Crystal Palace. And yourself, as you're scratching your head.
I've gone for Ipswich.
Okay. My 19th is in your 12th spot. Interesting. Interesting.
It's all to do with their manager. All to do with their manager.
Okay.
Kieran McKenna is outrageous at how good he is. Getting back-to-back promotions and back-to-back champions as well, if I'm right. They were champions of the championship, if I'm right. If I can, I want to say.
I can double check.
Or did they come second? Oh, I don't know. No, Leicester come first. Ipswich come second. Ipswich come second. In there. Because Leeds needed to win, and then they needed Ipswich to lose to guarantee themselves automatic, and they didn't. Yeah. Do you know what? I've gone with, I like the manager. Ed Sheeran's going to be there weekly. Fuck it.
Okay.
Basically, my philosophy for that pick there was basically my philosophy behind it.
All right. Ed Sheeran's appearance is going to get them that much further up the table. All right. Going to number 11. And I went Bournemouth on number 11. I don't even know if I have a reason why. I just needed to put them somewhere, and I think that's where they fit for me.
I've gone with Brighton.
Okay.
If they do what I think they can do, and the style of play that the new manager can do, I am very excited to watch them. The issue is some of the signings that De Zerbi did. I'm not. But the signings that I'm trying to look at their signings, because I know that they just got a youngster from Newcastle that Newcastle didn't really need anymore, so they sold him for quite big. So I'm just trying to get it up. Here they go. So they got João Pedro, but they've only made one signing, which was the winger, 19 years of age, from Newcastle, Yankubu Mike. He was on loan last season at PSV, I think, and he did is it PSV? He did a great job last season. A lot of clubs were interested in him. In the Gambian international player. No, Feyenoord, sorry. He was at Feyenoord last season. In 61 appearances he made last season, he got 17 goals, 13 assists, a goal contribution every 212 minutes. 220 goal contribution? Or minutes per goal, and it was around about in total 221 minutes, which is a goal every 2.5 games. Not bad to have for a winger, to be fair. So I'm interested to see how he does, but that's for me is why I think Brighton have got a bit of an aging squad, and they need to get some of those younger players that they love to sign up, and let's see how they do.
Fair enough. All right, so that's the bottom half of the table. Top half of the table, starting with number 10. This is where I've got Everton, because I think if they can hold on to some of the players that they have, a couple of extra signings that they can get, and they pull their shit together, I think that they're going to be exactly middle of the table.
Should we do a quick recap?
Okay, for sure.
A quick recap.
Yep.
And then I'll tell you my turns, because this is my top half. I've changed 4 times since we've even started doing the predictions. So from 20th to 11th, I've gone with 20th. I've gone with Forest, 19th Southampton, 18th Wolves, 17th Brentford, 16th Everton, 15th Bournemouth, 14th Leicester, 13th Fulham, 12th Ipswich, and 11th Brighton. Do you like my American accent there, Bobby? It
So-
was shit.
So quick recap of mine then is 20th Forest, 19th Ipswich, 18th Brentford, 17th Leicester, 16th Southampton, 15th Brighton, 14th Fulham, 13th Wolves, 12th Palace, and 11th Bournemouth. And I just said Everton for my 10th place. So what is your 10th place?
I've got Crystal Palace.
Okay. I mean, it's a good pick. Palace can
If-
surprise.
right, so yeah. So here's my issue with it. If they lose Jakob Anderson and Mark Gay before the start of the season, because Mark Gay is being rumoured to be moving to Newcastle for around about £60 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's also being said that Jakob Anderson could be going to Fulham for around about £30 million. That's 90 million Crystal Palace have recouped in signings. If they can get two strikers, like two defenders, like they've done before, they've already signed a replacement for Michael Elise. Come through our academy, ladies and gentlemen. With under Ismail Sarr, the former Watford winger. He's now gone. He went to Marseille. He's now been sold back to the Premier League with Crystal Palace. If they can get, I would say, a creative midfielder, and they keep their centre backs 10th and higher. If they lose both centre backs, but can get good replacement for them, they would be finishing a little bit lower down. But 10th, I feel like at the moment with the rumours and everything, I'm going with 10th.
Okay.
Now, by the way, I will pre-warn people. After now is when my picks go a bit batshit crazy. I'm going to warn you now. I think I will only get one of these in the top half. Just saying now.
All right. That's fair. I would say that. I think I have a feeling I might land a couple more than that, but we'll see how this goes. So, number 9 is where I've got West Ham on this one. I think West Ham is getting there. They're doing enough. It's not going to be quite enough, but I think it's going to be enough to finish 9th place. We know that they just got Wan-Bissaka is on his way over from Manchester United. And honestly, I think that's a great get for West Ham. I think Wan-Bissaka is very underrated in some ways. I often preferred watching him over Dalot at Manchester United, to be honest. But he's just not the defender that United want in whatever system it is that they're trying to play. And so they got rid of him. They've replaced him. Don't get me wrong. I like the incoming transfers for United, and we can talk about that in a moment. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka, I think, is a good get for West Ham. I think they're doing all the right things. I think that they're going to, work their way up. And I think 9th place is a solid finish for them.
Yeah. I'm just killing time because I don't want to say my pick yet. Okay, so as of now, right now, I've put Manchester United in 9th.
Oh, you bastard.
As of now, they haven't got the midfield. They haven't got the wing backs. They haven't got the centre backs. Striker's still strikerless formation. And I will make a bold prediction here, if they keep Erik ten Hag, they will finish 9th. If he's still here at the end of the season, that's where they'll finish. If he's not there, I will put them in the top 6.
Okay.
Because do you know what? I saw something the other day. I can't remember. I think it was the overlap on YouTube with Jamie Carragher and Paul Scholes, where Jamie Carragher said that he would not be shocked by January that Ruud van Nistelrooy is your manager.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, and
I don't think anybody crying if it was the case either.
And I sat there and I went, that's why I put them 9th at this precise moment. De Ligt and Mazzari will put them up maybe 1 or 2 places, but they're still not there. After watching them yesterday, they haven't improved through pre-season. They're not using Jadon Sancho right. And I think if you use Jadon Sancho on one wing with Ahmad on the other wing, you've got an excellent combination of wingers with a proper striker and Bruno Fernandes. But if you're Portuguese, I'm going to whisper, if you're Portuguese, you don't say Fernandes. Just going to say it.
It's
I
Fernandes.
don't know why they go Bruno Fernandes. And I'm like, no, but there's an ADES at the end. They go, no, we put it. No, it's anyway. So that's why I say they will finish ninth. I told you, batshit crazy predictions number one.
All right, batshit crazy prediction number one. I'll accept it, despite the fact that I disagree with it. Even with Ten Hag there till the end of the season, I think they can do better than ninth.
I'm going to say this. I think we should do a point system. If you're dead on where they finish, you get 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
If they're one place higher, one place below, you get 1 point. Now, if you're more than 3 places away from where you said they were, you get minus points up until where they are.
Right? That's what I was thinking the same damn thing.
Yeah. Because I can predict right now, I'm going to be on a lot of minuses by the end of this. Because now looking at what I've done, oh, shit, you know. Anyway, carry on.
It's going to be an interesting calculation when we hit the end of the season for us.
When we're at the end of this episode, behind the scenes, we will come up with our system of what we're going to do, and then we will go from there. But fuck me.
It's going to be fun. All right, 8th place. I got Spurs. Tottenham Hotspurs are going 8th place. I think that they're in a situation where it's like it's not enough to send them to the bottom half of the table, but it's not enough to really make them a major threat to the top of the table. I think they will do just fine and barely edge out 9th place, get 8th. And yourself.
Don't particularly want to say.
How many points are you going to lose on this one?
Oh! I'm currently just looking at something to see if I've made the right choice. Oh, shit. Fuck it. I'm sticking with my prediction. I'm sticking with my... Sticking with my prediction.
All right.
They're going to finish higher. I don't know why I've done this. All right, I've gone Chelsea.
All right, well, I mean, I've got them higher. I've got them higher for sure.
I think that they will do well. The issue is the transfers that they're bringing in make some type of sense. They're going young. They're going wonder kids. They've just signed Samu Opabula. They must have been watching my Football Manager save when I was doing the Reading save, because I signed Samu to Reading when I was manager. On YouTube, you can check it out. He was my top goal scorer for 3 seasons in a row in the Premier League, getting 40-plus goals a season. To be fair, in FM23, my highest goal scorer... By the way, I still think Chelsea are watching my Football Manager saves, because I had Nicholas Jackson, and he was my highest goal. I think Chelsea are watching my Football Manager saves. I tell you, some of their signings are the ones that I make, and it just baffles me. Chelsea will do well, but I think they're going to be stuck with the stupid amount of players that they've got. They need to loan a lot of these players out. They need to sell a lot of them, and it's going to take time to embed them. And I do hope the Leicester manager survives long, but I don't know how long he will. So I'm going 8th.
Okay, no, it's fair. I've got them higher, and we'll get to that. 7th place. This is where I really struggled. Really, I got to 7th. Now. I really struggled here, and I don't know if I've made the right choice here or not. And some of this has to do with the fact that I couldn't bear putting Manchester United in a position like this. I had to give them a little bit more credibility than this. So that's why I struggled in so many ways. I put Newcastle here. I don't know if this is going to be my detriment in points or not, but I put Newcastle here because I do think that there is some strength amongst the top teams here. And I think I think 7th to 1st is going to be a bit of a race this season.
No, Bobby. If you get that right, I will be shocked out of my system.
Okay.
I've got them higher up, a
Yeah.
lot higher up.
Okay.
Okay. 7th, I've gone with West Ham.
Okay.
I think they're going to get that UEFA Conference League spot. I think Julian Lopetegui has made some excellent signings in this transfer window for that West Ham team. Sorting out the centre backs, getting a couple of wingers in that are quick, fast, agile, getting the German international striker up front for him as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, excellent going forward and defensively as well. At times when he's fit, he's going to be an excellent addition for West Ham. So.
Mhm.
I think they're going to finish. Oh, voice just went funny. I think they're going to do much better than what they did last season. I just think they're just a few bits away here to crack proper Europe.
Okay. Well, it's a good decision. So yeah, there's your 7th. Number 6. This is where this is a bit more of a choice of putting them there because I still had to give Man U one more spot benefit
God,
here.
Bobby, you cannot have put them any higher.
I had to have some belief that we will fight for something a little better than we did last season. So I put Aston Villa in 6th, but it was very reluctantly.
Yeah, I've done the same.
Yeah.
The European, they'll have Champions League football.
Yeah.
It's different than the Europa League when they had, or the Europa Conference League. I can't remember which one they had last year because they will want their best players to play every. And isn't the new Champions League format coming into the fruition this year as well?
I think so. I think that's this season, isn't it?
I'm going to check because if it is, it's more games. New format. When's this coming in? 2024-25 season.
Okay.
This season.
So yeah, it is. Yeah.
So if you don't understand the new Champions League format, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to do it as much of it as dumb it down as I possibly can. So there's going to be one massive league table. There's no separate groups. There's going to be one massive league table. You will play 8 games, 4 at home, 4 away. You have to win, and whoever finishes in the top 4 or 6, I can't remember which one it is. I've done it on Football Manager. Top 4, you automatically qualify for the round of 16 or the second round. If you go from there down to 16th place, you will have to go into the next knockout tournament, which means more games. This is completely different than what they've done before, and it is horrible to play on Football Manager. I'm just going to say it's horrible. So it's going to be, let's see how it goes and how it sticks. But the new Champions League format goes longer, more games, and more annoying.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I've picked Aston Villa to go there as well.
I also think it's good. I think it's going to more heavily benefit teams outside of England. I really do.
Yeah.
Because the difference in their breaks and the way they play and all that kind of thing, I think it's going to be a lot harder on anybody playing in the English Premier League versus playing in some of the other leagues around the world.
Absolutely.
All right, we are at what, 5th?
Yeah.
All right, 5th. It's Man U. I know they will probably struggle, but I still have hopes. I've seen some good signings. If things start to click and that youth really comes through for them, I think they're going to fight for it. I think that Nistelrooy's influence is going to be there, whether or not he, as the lead coach or not. I think he's going to help in pushing forward a more forward-thinking line. Maybe he can actually pull Rashford's head out of his ass, use Sancho in the right place. We got Diallo, we got Garnacho. We can forget about Antony's existence even being there. They might as well just have him cleaning the toilets with a toothbrush at this point, because at least then he's valuable for something. Rasmus, when he's not pulling up a hamstring every time a gust of wind hits the back of his leg, can actually score goals. Baby Xerxes will pull through with the same kind of thing. We just signed that young 16-year-old from Arsenal. I know he's not maybe going to be playing in the main squad yet, but we've got a lot of hopes coming in. Mainu is excellent. He needs some work, but he's excellent. If you can get another central midfielder to play alongside of him, that would be excellent. Fernandes just re-signed, extending his deal with Manchester United.
Wrong choice.
We're starting to go with the defense decently. And, something has to click. I mean, the direction they're going is correct. I think that it's going to be a struggle. Will they finish fifth? Probably not. I'm probably going to be eating my words and taking a points loss on this one. But as a fan, I had to at least try to give some benefit of the doubt, and that's why I'm landing my team on fifth place this season.
It was the point of when you went, it has to work. It's like a plea to the gods.
I've been pleading, I used to be a fan watching it all the time. It's like, okay, if we didn't get the Premier League title, it's like, well, we'll get it next season. Now I'm just like, come on, something has to click. Like, I've been doing this for over a decade now, watching the team struggle. I really need something to work out again for them.
So, number 5, Toon Black and White Army. I've gone for Lucas Summan.
Okay.
Enjoy that accent there, the Geordie fellows. I know you liked it. Fifth for me. No European football whatsoever. Made a couple of really intelligent young signings. They're trying to go after the centre-back position with Mark Gay. You don't need to worry about the midfield because you've got Bruno Fernandes, Joel Linton, Sandro Tonali is now back. You've got the wingers of Anthony that will be there as well, and Miguel Almiron as well. It's all about that back line. Kieran Trippier with Livamero in the right back positions can swap if they need to be. You've got the Shah with Botman, or with Mark Gay. I probably presume it'd be Mark Gay with Botman, right-sided with the right side and left side with the left side. And then the left back, you've got Lewis Hall, Matt Target, or Big Dick Dan Burn, as I like to call him. Such a great name, by the way. I don't know where I heard it, how I heard it, but to call someone Big Dick Dan Burn is just rolls off the tongue so beautifully. And the goalkeeper position, they've got Nick Pope, John Ruddy. They've just signed that goalkeeper as well from Nottingham Forest as well. With Elliot Anderson going the other way. I think they're a centre-back way from coming back to cracking the top 4, top 5. If they get Mark Gay, I will swap them with 4th place, who's in 4th place at this precise moment. And if they maybe get another winger on the right-hand side of the winger, then I think Newcastle are going to be cooking this year.
For sure. I mean, it's this whole, like I said, from 7th to 1st, I think is going to be a race regardless. I think it's going to be a fight. And so here we go. Top 4 is actually, where it starts to get really...
I will 7th to 3rd.
Okay, 1st to 2nd, they're going to be a runaway.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah,
it could be. All right, well, let's talk about that top 4 at least anyway. And in 4th place, and I think I might be shooting a little bit high with these guys. I went with the idea that they're going youthful. They're really shooting for the stars on this. We'll see where it lands them as long as they can pull their heads out of their asses. I think Chelsea's going to fight their way back in. I think that 4th place is where I've got them. It might be a stretch. It might be, but they've had some rough times recently, and it's only going to take one time with the right management and the right players that they're going to turn shit around at Chelsea. Hey, it's me who takes the loss on points if I'm wrong at the end of the season. So.
I can see. Do you know what? I was very tempted to put them there as well.
Okay.
Very tempted, but I just think with Lukaku still looming and his negative twat head being around, then I stand. But anyway, I've gone with Spurs. I hated it doing them because I can't stand them. But I think Ange Postecoglou, another year with them, he's got a striker he needs to sort out the defensive line. A much better midfield than he's had before. I'm interested to see. For me, Spurs will finish between 4th and 8th. That's where I see them. I don't see them higher than that. I don't see them lower than that. Between 8, lower than 8, sorry. So, yeah, that's where I see them around there.
I felt the same way, and that's why they were 8th for me, but we'll see how I'm wrong on that one, too.
Yeah.
So. Third place, I've got Arsenal. I think Arsenal's got all the. You're looking at me strange. You're looking at me strange on this one because you think different. I know you probably got them in second place. I almost guarantee you got them in second place. Arsenal's one of those teams that I think's got every quality to be first, and yet for somehow they find a way to slip it up every single time. And I think that that's going to drop them just outside the top two. And I'm putting Arsenal in third place. I would rather Arsenal over who I've gotten first. I'll tell you that much right now because F my first place team. But I'm putting Arsenal in third.
Oh, Bobby.
Go ahead. Shake your head at me. Shake your head at me.
That is atrocious. That would be like me putting Man United in the relegation zone.
I really do think that I hope I'm wrong because personally, I would rather see Arsenal over at least one of my top two teams here, my top two selections, over my number one selection, sadly.
They've made great signings in the new left back, centre back, in the way that they're going to be trying to slightly copy Manchester City, putting a centre back but left footed on the wing back position there. I can't say his name, so I'm not the Italian. Will be there. Plymouth just scored an own goal. That's fucking hilarious. And so, yeah, no. This is number 3, right? I'm still shocked. I've gone with Liverpool. I don't think Arne Slot is going to do miracles. They're trying to get a new central midfielder from Real Sociedad, and I don't think that's enough yet. They haven't tied down Trent. They haven't tied down Van Dijk. They haven't tied down Mo Salah. The 3 main ones that they have to tie down if they want to keep them. If not, they need to be sold before the end of this window. Mm-hmm. The Saudi clubs are still very interested in Mo Salah and Van Dijk. Real Madrid really want Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they will give him the money that he needs to have in Madrid if they don't give it to him. So if Liverpool need to do something, then I see Liverpool there. But yeah. Bobby.
And see, you know what? To me, Liverpool has got quality there. You say about not locking them down. Okay, maybe they haven't done so yet. Maybe they won't. But I still think that Liverpool under Klopp made enough signings that put them in the right spots and play them the right way. And I think that there's a quality team here. Man, we should just get Tom Colohue in here, see what his opinion is on this one.
I don't think they've done enough at all. I think even the Klopp said under his reign they needed more players, needed more depth. And they haven't added anybody.
I put them in second. I put them in second. Liverpool, just above Arsenal. That's where I went. And I'm going to guess that you put Arsenal in second.
No, I put Man City.
No, you didn't. Holy shit. Okay. Wow, you're going Arsenal all the way on this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's their year. It's their season. I've got Man City second. The only reason why is I think this is going to be the last season of Pep Guardiola and Manchester City.
Oh, 100%.
Which is thank God.
100%.
Which is thank God to Manchester United fan. So I think this will be the last time we see Pep Guardiola, and then I think at the end of the year we'll be seeing him in an England shirt.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
After Lee Carsley was announced as the interim England manager, he has the gig now for I think till the end of the year, till the end of the season, to see what happens with Pep from that. So I'm interested to see what they do there. But there's just something about Man City that their luck has to run out. It has to run out at some point.
It will after this season when they don't have Pep anymore.
Yeah. So
I think Pep is the difference maker, and that's why I still have him in first.
Yeah, I think he may prioritize the Champions League more this year because it did do really well last year. Losing to Real Madrid on penalties when they should have won that by a mile. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Arsenal winning the league.
Okay. And I've got City winning the league. And let's just recap our second half then, our top 10. So for me, Everton in number 10, West Ham in 9th, 8, I've got Tottenham, 7, Newcastle, 6, Villa, 5, Man United, 4th, Chelsea, 3rd, Arsenal, 2 Liverpool, 1 Man City, and you thought you had the odd picks.
Yeah, we have really strange picks in the top 10.
In fact,
Because I've
our
got
our only pick that we have the same, the only
Villa.
one we have which one?
Villa.
Yeah, the same in the top half, and in the bottom
Yeah.
half, Forest. That was the only
Yeah,
2 we
that's
predicted
it.
the same.
One of us is going to get absolutely done over. And I
This
can
is
feel
perfect.
that already. You watch Nottingham Forest win the league and both of us be on like minus 20 points to start off with.
We're both just going to be eating our own words.
Yeah, so I've gone with Crystal Palace 10th, Manchester United 9th, Chelsea 8th, West Ham 7th, Voice Crack at 7.5. 6, we got Aston Villa, 5, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. Still playing on my mind. 4, I've got Spurs. 3, I've got Liverpool. 2, Manchester City. And at number 1, we've got Utabia Aguna. And I've gone with the Arsenal winning the league finally.
All right. So there you have it. That's our lists. We have them now written down. Anyway, we'll probably do some sort of sheet or something like that we can do throughout the year so we can keep track properly. I've got the list here. We'll come
I've
up with
got
something
mine on the Google Doc. I'm going to share
Okay.
it with you.
Share it, and then I'll add
do
mine
it
in there, kind of thing.
Because I know that you will screw me over. So I don't trust
Oh, no, hell no. I'm not doing. We're playing fair. Because, I mean, the proof is in the
Right.
video. I mean, everybody can recap the video, so there's no
that's true.
backing my way out of this.
Right, I've sent it to you on the Google Doc. You can put yours on the second page.
Perfect.
On that one. So yeah.
Okay, and so what we will do, we will come up with a point system here very shortly,
Mhm. Let's
probably
do it
just
now,
afterwards.
so that we could.
Or we could
do
just,
it.
yeah,
Right.
let's figure it out right now.
I'm going to write it down. 3 points for a win for
3
spot on.
3 points, spot on.
I'll write it down on my fucking you prick.
And let's say 1 point within minus plus or minus 1 spot is a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus or minus 1 spot is a positive 1 point. And then we will get for any spots,
Minus.
anything. Okay, so if you're plus or minus 2 spots, we'll call it a even. It's a draw. It's a 0 point on plus or minus 2.
No.
No? Okay. Or are we just going
So-
straight negative points after that? Okay, so anything else is minus points
For how far away they
for
are.
how far the position. So if we're way off, we are going to be hurting in the minus points category. And it is very possible for either one of us on that sense,
Yeah.
because you and I both had some pretty wild predictions here.
Yeah, I worry.
You should worry too bad, because some of mine were a little outrageous too. So
Yeah,
I
good
mean,
point.
yeah. So it'll be interesting at the end of the season to recap this. What we will do, and anybody who's watching, whether you're watching live right now or on the replay, we are going to come up with, say, 3 or 4 different, I think, reasonable punishments for whoever takes the biggest loss in points at the end of the season. And you, the viewers, can decide what the punishment is for either myself or Mark based on who doesn't
I've
get
got
the
it.
victory. Okay.
We don't need to do. You live in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I live in England.
Yep.
May time is fucking freezing. Outside, ice bucket. Outside,
That-
ice bucket. But I will say that you can wear a top and trunks. That's it.
Jesus, that could be
You
really
cannot
brutal
wear a
here in
coat.
Canada, especially
know.
where I'm from.
Yeah, you can't wear a coat. You can put goggles on if you want. That's fine. I'm happy with that. No shoes, no socks, no boxers, trunks, top.
This will be
There we go.
interesting. Okay, you know what? We're not putting it out to the fans. That is the challenge, because
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, May can be very unpredictable here.
Same.
In fact, there was some times in May we still had snow here, kind of thing. So
Well, if there's anyone up there and I've won this challenge, make it snow right as Bobby has to do the ice bucket, and it has to be ice. in
it's
the
just going to be pelting down the entire time as I go and have to go through this. I'm
Right.
sure it'll be amazing.
And May in England is freezing. It can be really cold as well.
Oh yeah,
So
Either way, it doesn't work out very well. This
because I don't want to eat anything because I have IBS and my ass will be on fire and I can't deal with that. But I was thinking of something that could be punishment, which would be brutal for you and could be brutal for me at the same time.
Yep, and it's equal either way, so that's fair.
Yeah.
I like it. Challenge accepted then. Challenge accepted.
Why have I come up with that? Why have I come up with that?
Hey, it can be way worse for me. Trust me, it can be way worse for me. So the fact that I'm putting that on the line, knowing the temperatures we can hit and the snow that we can get stuff, even though it's May and it should be creeping around to summertime, you know that's it can be pretty brutal here in Canada, especially in my neck of the woods. So I think this is a fair deal. I'm accepting it, and let's just see where these land at the end of the season. And just because if you haven't watched this live doesn't mean you can't still give us your predictions. If you want to give us your predictions in the comment section down below, please do so right here on YouTube, because we encourage that. Mark and I will be checking those comments, checking out your picks. We won't laugh at you as much as we laughed at one another, because we're mates on screen and we're able to do that. So we will have a genuine conversation with all of you who want to make your predictions in the comment section. But with that being said, Mark, we are an hour and 20 minutes in. I think that it's time to get on with our day. So why don't you tell the people what you got coming up? Where can they reach out to you? What do you got going on? Other than, of course, your birthday today.
I don't care anymore. I fucked up. I'm fucked up. You can check me out on YouTube. I have 3 channels. I have Mark Talks Football, where this week is the final week in Japan, and we're looking to go to America for our next challenge. I know, because I record them a week in advance, we do get a job in America. I can tell you that now, in advance. And it's hot. So make sure you check out, because we're also trying to win the Japanese league for the very first time in the club's history. They were never there before, and we're trying to win it. Mark Talks Wrestling. This week is the week show building up to Double or Nothing is coming up for you this week. And next week will be Double or Nothing. And in only a few weeks' time will be WrestleMania. And I can tell you with chest that this week there is a certain superstar that is debuting on WWE Live. And I can tell you with a fact that this is going to piss a lot of you off. And I've done it on purpose because, hey, yo, let's go. You can work that out if you work it out who it is. Good luck to you. And also on Mark Talks Gaming, we're carrying on with the F1 Manager. The Rage episode comes out today. Full Rage happens, so make sure you check that out. And we're doing GTA 5 as well. But you can see me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky. Also, Monday, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. my time, will be an interview, second part of my interviews, and where I will be sitting down with Andre C. It was his birthday yesterday, my birthday today, to do a double birthdays. We're going to be talking a lot of things about why he got into content creating, a little bit about himself, and I have some questions from the OLE members as well. And I know one of them I'm hoping to crack him on. So let's see what we can do from there. But yeah, that's me. Oh, next Saturday. Just remembered as well, Bobby, you were about to probably help me out with that one. Next Saturday, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. GMT time. It is Mark Sits Down with Melbourne. Oh, I am excited for this one. This is one because no one sees, okay, you see the Melbourne on screen, lovely person, really, really nice. Now, if you DM her, it is some of the most batshit crazy conversations you will ever have in your existence of a human being. So I am really looking forward to that one.
Oh, I'm looking forward to watching it as well, too. Those will be both great interviews and a lot of great stuff coming up. As for myself, down below, that is the ticker where you're going to be able to reach out to me. As Mark said, as part of WWE 2K24 Universe mode over on Mark Talks Wrestling, we got a lot of great stuff going on coming up to AEW's W or Nothing Premium Live event very, very shortly. And then 2 more Premium Live events for this season And that'll be it. Yes, WrestleMania, the big payoff of the season. And the next season, we got all sorts of twists, turns, and crazy things planned for y'all. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to go on over to Mark Talks Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe, and start checking out the programs. They're going to be absolutely.
Video, by the way.
What's
that draft video? The draft video.
Oh yeah.
I know my number one pick, and I have 15 wrestlers I'm picking. I am really excited to see. I know for a fact that none of you will pick those people I'm picking.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. You can have your secondary scraps. It's fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, but for what else I got going on, you can always catch me on Saturday afternoons over to the Brave Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there and watch the matches. Myself and Pop Smokes calling all the action. And speaking of myself and Pop Smokes, Thursday nights, it's Ring Respect Radio right here on the channel, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. This week, we're taking another trip through the territories, and because the announcement that WWE's Survivor Series War Games is coming to Vancouver, we are actually going to be taking a trip on over to the Vancouver territory and tell you all about where the Vancouver territory was back in the territory days of professional wrestling. So a little history lesson there for you all. And again, I will be back next Sunday right here on the channel with that man right there, Mark Robson, for more Point of View. So make sure you tuned in for that. And again, right down below, you've seen it there all screen. We are OLE Podcast. You can check us out on all social media. And of course, right here on YouTube, subscribe, click that notification bell, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment as well, too. Remember that in doing so, you're going to be notified anytime we have new content on here on the channel. We got stuff coming at you every single day, from live content just like this to short form content, long form content, anything in the world of pop culture from all sorts of wonderful contributors across the globe. We've got a full week schedule here for you this week on OLE, so go check out the calendar that was uploaded. It's going to tell you what we got going down. Make sure you tune in into all that. But that's going to be it this week from Point of View. From myself, from Mark, we thank you for tuning in. Take care, everybody, and we will see you in 1 week's time.